Welcome back to World Report. Here is correspondent Greg Dobbs with Wounded Warriors, Veterans Farm.
To most of us, if we recognize them at all, these are only blueberry bushes on a farm in Florida. But to some injured veterans of America's recent wars, they are so much more. These simple shrubs offer hope, maybe a career, possibly the future.
Is because a lot of guys are missing their legs, they're in wheelchairs, or they have bad backs and they can't bend over to pick blueberries that are only maybe this high. So what we've done is in the pots, we elevated them up high enough where a guy can come and pick blueberries without bending, or if he's in a wheelchair or solo ride or golf cart, he can see it'll turn out and they can pick from a pail right here.
Adam Burke is a vet who came home hurt himself from war.
Here's my Purple Heart here. That was awarded in 2004 while I was from being injured in Iraq.
Adam earned his Purple Heart in a gunfight in the infamous Sunni Triangle. Bullets took down a fellow infantryman. Adam ran to pull him to safety and took fire himself. Just 2 weeks before he was due to come home, shrapnel tore into his legs and sliced into his skull. He got home, wounded but alive.
I had made a promise years ago, and that I would serve the rest of my life. If the Lord got me back safe and home to see my family, that from the war, that I'd spend the rest of my life giving back and helping others, especially my brothers who come back who was less fortunate. And I really didn't live up to that promise until 2009.
But then he did live up to it, and this farm on the edge of Jacksonville is the fulfillment of that promise. It is called Veterans Farm, and Adam Burke is purposely building it to be handicap accessible for physically disabled vets. Crops they'll be able to reach from a wheelchair, a ramp to the packing shed. The only actual qualification for veterans to work here is that they've served in the armed forces sometime since September 11, 2001, and that somehow they've been hurt, physically or mentally, in the line of duty.
So when Sanders gets here, you guys get some nails and some hammers, go out there and fix that fence out there. Go and repair that fence. And I brought the jams. I need you to put the labels on those 2 packs of jams because we got some orders with those. And once y'all complete that, we'll start on the grapevines.
The men helping build Veterans Farm right now aren't physically disabled. They came home mainly with invisible wounds, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and TBIs, traumatic brain injuries. But the farm is giving them a new lease on life. Like these two mending a fence on a border of the farm. Patrick Sanders from New York City, that's him with the hammer, he served 11 years in the Army, several tours in Iraq. And Robert Brown from Peru, Indiana, he was a Marine there. Ask them both what Veterans Farm means to them today, and the answer is everything.
This place for me is direction in my life. You know, I got out of the military in 2004, and this is the first thing, the closest thing I've had to a job since I've been home. I did try to go back to work, and most people won't hire me because when they see that you have PTSD, then they told me I'm a liability. So, you know, I'm very fortunate to have this opportunity to come down here.
Just saved my life. Before I met Adam, I was I was in bad shape. I was losing everything I own, and it was just horrible. I mean, I couldn't get myself on my feet. It was terrible.
What is it about this work, working outdoors, working on a farm, that makes a difference in your lives?
It's mental therapy. It's well, not just mental. It's emotional and spiritual therapy, I think.
You got to explain that to a city boy like me.
Well, I mean, you have freedom out here. You don't have the hustle and the bustle and cars going, you know, 50 miles an hour, and everybody's in a big hurry, or everybody's on their phones and text messaging and talking, and I mean, out here you've got fresh air. It's quiet. I mean, other than you got your animals out here, which they're therapeutic also. So just the freedom of nature out here, it's a sense of peace. This is our oasis out here. This is our oasis.
And it's an oasis from what?
Civilians. I mean, we do things. I mean, when you're in the military, you do things differently. and you know, you get a little bit more camaraderie, and you guys take care of one and each other. It becomes a family-like organization. And you lose that in the civilian world, you know. And when you come back here and you get all the guys here, and you know, they're going through the same thing you've been through, and they can help you with what you've been through, you know, it helps out a tremendous amount, especially when you come out here and you have no place to turn, and then you talk to somebody who's been in your shoes, and hey, you're all right.
Native Floridian Sean Valdivia, an infantry Marine, had experiences he can't wipe clean from his mind.
You know, I went in at 19, and you know, I was over there at a young age. You know, I've never had anybody shoot at me before, and to have that happen every day, people who try to kill you, you know, it's different. You know, it's.
I guess the word different doesn't really even begin to describe.
No, I'm trying to think of a better word for it. I mean, just the close, you know, near-death experiences. You know, being hit with the improvised explosive devices in Afghanistan. You know, I got hit twice in a 12-day period. You know, I know other veterans who've had worse, but you know, for me personally, I mean, that's a lot.
Sean's invisible injuries are the same as the other guys.
Upon coming back, you know, I wasn't really the same person I used to be before I went in. You know, I came home and I just didn't feel like doing anything or going out or seeing any of my old friends.
But Sean's cure here at Veterans Farm is a little different. His main responsibility isn't raising produce, it is tending to the poultry.
This is a blue birchin. She's a rare species of poultry. We got a male rooster over here, and that's a splash birchin.
Now, a guy who did urban warfare in Iraq, then desert warfare in Afghanistan, shares a good part of his days on a farm with turkeys and roosters and guinea hens.
But this pretty much turns the corner in your life, working with poultry, working with birds, working on a farm.
Yes, sir. It has. It's helped a lot in more of a therapeutic relaxation sense to help with post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury. I have a thing in here, we call it chicken sitting. You just come in here and pull up a chair and just kind of just watch them do their thing for a few hours, kind of free your mind, just think about whatever, kind of just, you know, it's relaxing. I actually did it today for a few hours.
Silly question, but how does that work? How does that relax you to chicken sit?
I don't know. I guess it's just to take your mind off of normal things that you do each day and just kind of pay attention to something else for a little while, kind of see how they move, how they operate, and that's just, I don't know, just kind of relaxing just to watch them. Sometimes they make you laugh just doing the things they do, just chicken stuff.
If in a vacuum you had to say, here's why farming is therapeutic to these people coming back, these military troops coming home from a war zone, what is it?
That horticulture therapy is the new prescription without medication. The VA pushes so many medications. The answer is, here's a medication for this, and they'll give you another one to counteract that. And a lot of all the guys need is a place to decompress, a place that can create sustainable lives using sustainable agriculture. And it's one of those places that when they burn out, they're not going back and they're working for, you know, a bottom minimum wage job again. But when they burn out, they come in here, they find therapy through the animals, through the work that they do, and that helps them recover.
But there's even more to it than that. There's getting a job at all. The unemployment rate among veterans right now is a third higher than among Americans in general. And unemployment among the youngest vets, an astonishing 30%.
My ego was hurt because I couldn't get the job that I wanted. And they just made me feel like I wasn't qualified to do the things that I know I can already do, that I've already done in the military. And so after a year of that, my confidence was low.
Patrick Bryan's job in the Navy was tracking enemy submarines, but of course, when he went home to Oklahoma, That didn't translate to anything in the civilian world. There just weren't any jobs he was trained for. What he found here, working with other injured vets, is he's not alone.
For me, it's about being with fellow veterans that are going through like some of the same issues that made you go through the transition. The transition from the military to civilian life is, I thought it was pretty difficult, but being out here just kind of helps because they all got the same problems.
Absolutely. Just the direction, just having Adam yelling across the farm, "Hey, did you get that thing done yet?" "Yeah, I got it, I'm working on it." Then I'm in go mode, I'm ready to go.
Okay, but you could be working at a factory and the foreman could be yelling across the factory at you, giving you direction too.
Right, but it's different. I look at him as like my staff sergeant, you know.
Everyone here knows where we've each come from.
Right.
And you just can't get the understanding in the civilian world as you can working with other veterans, because everyone here, we know each other's stories, and we're here each day is in a brotherhood. It's not punching a time clock and just showing up to on an assembly line to do a job. I mean, here we're building futures for other veterans to be able to come through here and to be able to live a life of peace. Everyone knows everybody's story, and it changes the atmosphere.
And we're left here with each other to talk and say, brother, I'm here for you. And that's what this farm is about. It's like, you know what? I've made it here. I'm here. Here's my hand, brother. I'm here to take you up, and let's go and let's step up. And once you get up there, take me with you. And it's not going to happen unless we do it ourselves and we get the community, the state, the nation involved with all the veterans as one voice saying, hey, this is what we need. And that's what we're doing. It's more of not just farming and what we're doing, but it's more of a movement to accept the challenge, embrace that, and move forward with what we're doing.
Next on World Report, for many of these vets, working on the farm offers more than just the chance to learn new skills.
With my PTSD, you know, since I've been here this last month, it's diminished some. I don't have the bouts of depression because I have something to look forward to. You know, I've got the guys that are here. We can talk about anything. We, share all the same commonalities.
It's also giving them hope. That's coming up. Welcome back. Once again, here is Greg Dobbs.
The injured vets who are here in Florida building Veterans Farm and rebuilding their lives are doing it on their own. Because like returning vets all over the country, many just don't get the help they need from the military or after they're discharged, the Veterans Administration.
You know, a lot of the public, they believe that once you go to war, if you're injured and you come back, that you're automatically taken care of. If you're injured, you lose both legs, you come back, you still have to file paperwork, you still have to fight, you still have to go to doctors and prove to them that, hey, I'm unable to work or I am disabled. Guys with PTSD and TBI have even a bigger struggle because they have to prove something that's not visible. They look at you and they say, well, you look normal, so you must be normal, there must not be anything wrong with you. So these hidden wounds that guys are coming back with that's causing them to spiral out of control is something that's not being addressed like they should be.
Adam tells a story of his own fight to get treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder.
Blood flow brain image of my brain here that was taken by a top neurologist in South Florida.
In fact, he had to fight even to be diagnosed with PTSD.
You can see where it's all looks like basically like a meatball.
The dark purple is sort of empty space?
Empty space there. So I take this to the VA hospital and I said, here's my proof. I suffer from brain injury. I can't sleep at night. I have anxiety. My thought process is off. I can't remember anything. I'm unorganized. I have migraines. I have to stay on oxygen every night just to go to sleep. And they say, well, we don't use this test.
All right, welcome back. AC/DC Wednesday, Hump Day, our favorite day of the week here on Uncensored. Also brought to you by
So Adam Burke went outside the government for help. And one big supporter he attracted is former Jacksonville Jaguar Tom McManus, who had me on his radio talk show.
It's amazing. What's great about it is a couple things. Adam Burke is a thinker and a doer, and I love those types of people. You know, there's no excuse, there's no BS. It's, look, here's my goal, here's my dream, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it happen. He's made it a reality. What Adam did was studying what horticulture can do for the senses, what it can do for your body.
It's actually called horticulture therapy. I never heard of it before.
Yeah, how about that? So you get out there, they feel good, but the thing is, they work. Yeah. This isn't a free, like, here you go, just hang out. No, I'm going to teach you how to farm. We're up early, we're farming, we're building this thing. It's a viable business, and I'm going to teach you how to farm so you can have your own farm, and the whole goal...
Adam Burke grew up on a farm, so he knows how to do that, which also helps explain why eventually he was drawn back to farming after his injuries in Iraq, even if, as he says, he joined the Army at 17 to escape from the farm. But for other vets who have come here, farming is completely new.
I never thought I'd be farming my entire life, and came out here for the first week. He said, just give it a shot, and I've been out here ever since.
When you were getting shot at in the Middle East, it's fair to say, isn't it, that you never in your wildest imagination thought, well, the way I'm going to be whole again is working on a farm.
Mm-hmm. I never thought I'd be working on a farm. I'm pretty much grown up in, you know, in the city area, you know, all the cars, all the roads, all the buildings, but it's different out here, you know, 15 minutes away, you got the city when, you know, if you're having a problem or just want to get away from the city, you know, just come out here and, you know, go sit in a chair at the front porch and just, you know, take a deep breath.
Yeah, a lot of guys will tell you they've never been on the farm. You've talked to some of the guys who work with poultry who's never seen an egg other than in the store. Some of the guys have never seen a blueberry other than Costco's or Publix, you know, so they didn't know where it came from. But when you break it down and we show this is the process of starting it from a seed and growing it and nurturing and watering it and seeing the fruits of their labor. Hard work produces something. There's an end result to this. And this gives these guys a sense of purpose. They can take pride in knowing that I grew this and I sold this and this is what you're eating. Part of something I put hard sweat and work into.
And Adam Burke is not the only teacher.
I just come out and volunteer my time out here and give them what little bit of expertise I have.
Trey Evans is a plumber with all kinds of practical skills who drives down from Americus, Georgia to help train the core group of men building Veterans Farm.
As long as this place is prospering and growing, are you going to grow with it?
Yes, sir, absolutely. As long as this place is here, I'm with them, whether they're prospering or growing or not. I'm here to help these guys. You know, obviously, me being a former veteran, I understand some of their hang-ups and some of their problems, but I got a lot of buddies that have and are struggling today trying to deal with those issues and trying to find a way how to handle these things. And I've seen these guys like Patrick and the other guys come out here, and it helps them out so much. You know, they come out here and you can kind of just go do your own thing, take care of little projects here and there, and they just seem a whole lot better at the end of the day, every day.
And there's a local farmer named Charles Wright who comes in to help teach the vets how to farm.
All right, now just push it forward slowly. Don't dig it in too deep.
Nothing, just barely okay.
Yeah.
How we looking?
All right, just keep your front wheel lined up.
Charles Wright says since he started helping out at Veterans Farm, he has seen growth in the willingness of these vets to learn and in their willingness to work.
Now, do you want to combine the mustard and collards? Just combine them. Do you see how tiny they are?
Yeah.
And planting those by hand one at a time is time consuming and back breaking.
The vets grow, Wright says, every single day.
Show me how. I don't know how. Show me how, and I'll do it. Just like this boy with that rake. He had never raked a row off in his life. He didn't know how to do it. But all you have to do is do it for 10 feet and show him. Walk along with him. Help him to get things in his mind right. Keeps his mind busy, keeps his mind off of his wounds, off of his injuries. He knows he's doing something good, he's doing something for the benefit of himself and others, and he's making a difference. and he can do it. He's not sitting back and hollering, give me. Look what I did, now give me, take care of me. He said, give me a chance. I'll take care of myself, and I'll take care of you too if I can.
Here's a good illustration of how these vets are willing to learn and willing to work. Beekeeping. Buzzing beehives aren't the sort of thing most people naturally want to handle, but Sean Valdivia has taken on the challenge.
Did this take some getting used to?
It did. At first, you know, just wasn't too really fond of coming out to work with, you know, thousands of bees. You know, it took a little time, little guidance by our, you know, our master beekeeper, and you know, with time, you know, just listening to them buzz, it's kind of relaxing to see that see how they operate. You know, if you can kind of see here, if you look into the frame, that, you know, they're already starting to make honey for this next, for like the spring season. So hopefully we get a good bit of that.
I bet this is nothing you ever imagined yourself doing when you were overseas in a war.
Oh, never.
The injured vets who are working here now get paid a subsistence allowance, but they don't start earning it until they've already volunteered without being paid a dime for a month.
This is not a handout, this is a challenge. So I make each and every guy volunteer 1 month every day for the first month on their own dime. This proves to us that they really want to do this. And they're not just looking for, hey, give me some money and I'll move on and go do something else. Because there's a lot of people out there that'll do that. We challenge them. You show us that you want to be here. All of us has pushed forward through. We've done our time. We've made this opportunity possible.
But still, the opportunity costs money.
It's got to cost something extra to build a handicap accessible farm.
It does. There's a lot of different things we have to add in, like the 30-gallon pots here that we use to elevate the blueberry bushes up. Today we have 3,000 30-gallon pots, and that's run us about $6,800, and that's just for the pots itself.
And there are the fruits and vegetables they've just started raising in these weather-protected planters they've built, also elevated above the ground.
It enables these guys so they don't have to continue bending over to pick greens or cabbage or the strawberries. They can sit along the edges of our planter boxes and they can pick and harvest right from their seat there.
But that's not all. Adam Burke had to spend more for the wheelchair ramp outside the only real building on the farm, the packing shed.
The wheelchair ramp costs us around $1,800, and that's just another added thing, another cost that we always have to raise money for and come up with, so the guys can get in and out of the packing shed, so they can also grade blueberries and vegetables.
All of which explains why Adam Burke can't be just a farmer. He has to be a fundraiser too. One idea that's brought in a few bucks is dedicating the blueberry bushes. For $20, a dog tag will be imprinted with the name of someone a donor wants to remember.
This is Patrick Fleming, United States Navy. I lived from 1919 to 1988, and this dog tag will hang here for the entire life of this blueberry bush. And this blueberry bush here will live about 20 years. Once it dies, we'll put another blueberry bush in there.
So basically, this one right here is Corporal Arvanteitis. He was killed in action on October 6, 2006 in Iraq. Basically, it's a remembrance from one of his family members or friends, you know, telling that they love him, and, you know, even though he's gone, he's still, you know, here with us with the fellow veterans.
When our guys are out here working, you know, and they're messing around, they're pulling or watering and stuff like that, it's always nice to be able to look down and see somebody who's, you know, a fallen hero or a loved one or somebody who sponsors this bush. It lets them know that they're loved and they're thought of. So.
However, the dog tags on the blueberry bushes aren't enough to support Veterans Farm, but it's beginning to also make money by getting the jams that they produce here onto the shelves of small stores. They already have bigger stores in their sights. And they're getting some bigger bucks from members of the community who just want to help. Gene Bautista runs the First Coast Full Contact Gym in Jacksonville.
Adam was sent to me. I was looking for an organization, really kid organizations, to help out.
Last year, he staged some fights in his ring as a fundraiser for Veterans Farm. They ended up raising $26,000. Then he did it again just last month, and this time they raised $32,000. But no matter how successful Veterans Farm becomes, it can never help more than a handful of injured vets at a time, which doesn't faze Adam Burke.
In the course of 2012, there are going to be tens of thousands of soldiers rotating in and out of Afghanistan. Many are going to come home wounded, visibly or invisibly. You can't save the world here.
Right. We save them one person at a time, one soldier at a time. If I can inspire the community to do what I've done, then we can help so many more guys. You have landowners who own thousands of acres that they could lease to a charity lease to an organization to set up a farm of hundreds of acres or thousands of acres. Imagine how many guys we could help. If we can touch one life and put him set up on a farm, and if he can reach 5, 10, 15 people and then set them up on their farms and create this domino effect across the country, we can certainly help out so many more people.
Bring it like that, bring it in the center, and we need to roll it all the way down.
Just intuitively, it makes sense, because in a way, farming fits the discipline doled out in the military. Up early, work hard, get dirty. But you don't even need intuition to see that it makes sense to the wounded warriors who are already here.
Just not having to think about, you know, what I did in the military, how it's affected me, more like how I'm going to help myself overcome that, what I'm going to do to help myself in the future, just to push forward instead of going backwards. And, you know, that's just been a big help.
With my PTSD, you know, since I've been here this last month, it's diminished some. I don't have the bouts of depression because I have something to look forward to. You know, I've got the guys to, you know, that are here. We can talk about anything. And we, you know, share all the same commonalities.
Stuck. That's the only way I can explain it. And when I come here, it's like, oh, you know, I'm right back in with the guys. And